So here it is installed. It came on a pallet that was like 44 by 48, and I just cut it down so it would fit in here because I knew I was going to have to shim up one side because this concrete's not level. You know, I've complained about this shop a lot, but these are some of the things that's wrong with it. But anyways, so I got it in here. I moved the toolbox I had sitting here because I wanted it close to the electric service. I didn't want it far away where I got to run long conductors, because one of these days this place is going to get insulated, and I don't want to have to tear a bunch of crap apart so that we can insulate it. Okay, so what this is a Champion compressor. It's made by Gardner Denver. This is a 7.5 horse magnetic start motor with single phase with a 2-stage cast iron pump that has oil splash lubrication. It's got a sight glass here. You can see where it's at. They use a special lube, their own formula they want you to use. So in the book it says service every 500 hours. Ironically, there's not an hour meter on it, but I guess it doesn't matter. When I was looking at these, I was looking at the V-twin one that Tractor Supply has. They had it on special for like $19.99 or something like that. And I looked online, man, there was lots and lots of mixed emotions or mixed reviews on it. I mean, a lot of guys loved it, a lot of guys hated it. A friend of mine has one. He's had his for 4 years, the Ingersoll Rand that is, and he's had nothing but success with it. But there was enough of, when it's a 50-50 or something close to that is what I found, that's not a gamble I'm willing to take, you know. Anyway, so I went out there to this tool distributor that I know of, and they sell a lot of air tools and a lot of air compressors to businesses. And I went out there, and the service guy happened to be there, and he was telling me, I asked him about the compressors and what does he see? And he says, I service more Champion compressors that people have bought from them and put into service than I do any other, because they sell more of them. And he says, I repair more Quincy's. Quincy was the other brand that I was looking at. It was Quincy or Champion. He said he repairs more Quincy's with pump problems than he does on the Champions. Coincidence? I don't know. But the guy's been doing it a long, long time. So that advice meant something to me. And I was on the fence between one or the other. And I chose this one. Like I said, it's a 7.5 horse single phase motor, 2-stage compressor, and it's an 80-gallon tank. It kicks on at 140 psi and kicks off at 175. I live streamed this while I was wiring it, because I wired this up with, we call this seal tight, flex seal, liquid tight, whatever you want to call it. Most time you see this like outside going to an AC compressor or AC condensing unit. And I brought it into the panel and put on a 40 amp breaker. This one has this switch here. This is how you turn it on and off. This switch controls the contactor that's in here. It doesn't actually turn the motor on like a smaller, like a 5 horse or something smaller. It actually uses a contactor. So this switch is controlling a lower amp, basically a big relay is what it is, contactor that sucks in and then shoots it. And it's a smart start is what a lot of people like to call them, because it brings the RPMs up slow instead of just jolting the motor and putting burn spots on the armature. So that's the one I went with. It was more money than the Ingersoll Rand, but hopefully this one will last me my days. Fingers crossed. You never can tell these days. Every time I buy something, I put the date on it when I bought it, and I put a copy of the receipt when I bought it in with the owner's manual. This has the ability to put in a low oil level sensor that you can wire into your contactor. So if it's low on oil, it won't start up. I don't know if we'll do that. It's pretty easy to see that every day before I kick it on. And they make an automatic drain for it. I could put that on too, but that's pretty convenient. It's right there and easy to get to. I don't have a problem bending over and opening the valve. I've got an air dryer and a water separator coming. They're just not here yet. So once they get here, we'll get that put on. It's a tight fit, as you can see. It's pretty snug up against that fire extinguisher. And it's pretty tight over here on this actual feed tube, and that's a check valve. But anyways, those are the ones I considered, and this is the one I went with. It draws 36 amps, I believe, at peak, and I got on a 2-pole 40 breaker, and we should be in good shape. So this is one less piece of the puzzle. I've needed this for quite a long time. I just really, I just didn't want to spend the money. I'd rather spend money on other things that we have to have before I did this. So now, I guess, the old Craftsman compressors, I mean, if you think about how much work I was making these little compressors do, it's no wonder they let loose, This one's almost locked up now. I mean, it's pretty rough, and this one just, just blows air out. The valving isn't working, apparently. Burn a valve up, maybe, I don't know. It is what it is. I'll save the tank. I might put that on the truck, put my gas-powered air compressor and put that under the truck somewhere for capacity. This one, I don't know what we'll do with. I have several air tanks around, but it is what it is. That's it, guys. That's the new compressor. So let's keep our fingers crossed she's a good one and she treats us well, so we can get lots of work done and make a lot more videos. So, all right, we'll catch you on the next one. These two things showed up today. Also showed up the same day we get our tank. This is the DeWalt polisher. It's a variable speed with soft start. It'll go from 0 to 600, and then you can limit it by a dial switch up to, I think, 3,500 RPMs. And this is the Super Shine kit, polishing kit. It seems to be a pretty popular one, and it comes with 3 different wheels, 3 different bars, and the safety things for the wheels and the actual metal polish, so the hand polish. So we're going to try and polish them stainless fenders, see what they look like. I don't have high hopes because I've never done this before, but we'll see what happens. Well, it's not too bad considering that's what we started with. Started here, and now you can at least see a reflection, and that's the first part of it. So see how good we can get it. I mean, these are scratched up and stuff, but maybe we just make them look a little nicer. Alright, this is the before, and this is the after. Lots of dents and lots of scratches. But man, that's a pretty big difference, I think. Doesn't show up as well on the camera, but whew, much better. A very big difference. So that took me about a half hour. I got some hand polishing to do yet. Haven't done that, but I was just anxious to see how much of a difference there was. I mean, it is. You can't even see a reflection in there at all, right? Nothing. Not bad. So now we'll do this one. I'll hand polish this the rest of the way. This one's got a lot of real deep stone chips and dents over here. And I don't think they're going to come out because I'm not going to spend hours and hours trying to get that out. It's just not that important. But this is the one that was cocked sideways just a little bit. So I guess this tells the same story because it has more road rash down here and less up top. And this one, which was almost straight, has very, very little. But shoot, man, they're coming along. I'm pretty happy with that. I wouldn't have bought this polisher and this kit just to do these fenders, but I'm sure I'll be doing tanks and some other stuff later, so I think it was worth it. But you can go finer than this. That is just the one yellow disc with the first cutter bar, the first rouge bar. Now I'm not going that deep because these are not in good shape. You know, it's going to be tough to make them look really, really nice. They're just not that nice. They shine again. That's where I was going for. It looks a little bit better in the camera than it does in person, but that's okay. I think I got most of the swirl marks out, the marks from the buffer, polisher, whatever. There may be just a few here or there you might be able to see. I hand polished it, but I don't know. I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead because I think it looks okay. We'll see what it looks like on the truck as soon as I finish the other one. I'm hand polishing these now, but and you can see my reflection, which we couldn't do before. But there's still some, see these fine little dents and scratches. There's these big scratches. They're just not going to come out. And I'm not going to grind it down that deep. Same thing here. There's a bunch of, I'm hand polishing this right now. But, man, I got to tell you, I think that was well worth the effort. I've got about probably a half an hour in each one right now. I think it's worth the effort for what we're trying to do. I mean, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have bought all that just for these, because I can buy these for about 150 bucks, which is really what that costs plus that kit. That's 164 shipped, I think, something like that, for that DeWalt soft start variable speed. And then the kit was 75, I think. So whatever that ends up being, quite a bit. But like I said, we got tanks and other stuff we need to polish too. So it's not just for this. But now I'm gonna get back on to polishing this. After I finish polishing this, we're gonna put them on a truck, see what they look like. And the only problem is it makes all the little stone dents that came in from the backside show up more. But they turned out okay. They're not new. You know, they're just used. And it'll be alright though. This one had a ton of fine scratches down this way. You know, but doesn't look so bad. It'll do. It will do. As soon as I get that angle set right, you know, my gap here, I'll tighten it all down, and then we'll take, like somebody suggested, a couple pieces of steel, vice grip it every so often, and then bend it, make our own brake kind of, and put a little mud flap on the top. Keep all the crud from slinging forward this way onto our toolboxes when we find them, because I'm still looking for them. But I'm pretty pleased with that. We're waiting on our steel. Supposed to have it tomorrow or Friday, and today's whatever, a couple days. So once that's done, once we get that, we'll get working on that, and hopefully we'll be wrapping this thing up pretty soon. At least I hope so. But not too bad. If you guys like what we're doing, give us that thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Leave your comments down below, guys. We will catch you on the next one.